Hey guys, Viz here, coming at you with another road morning trip vlog thing. So I was driving to work, right? I'm driving to work, and currently have a iPhone 17 Pro Max, 256 gigs, and I just got a Galaxy S26 Ultra, and I've been doing a little bit of comparison. I'll make a video soon about it, but I just wanted to, throw my thoughts here and just do a little compare and contrast because this phone, the one I'm recording on, the 26 Ultra, it's such a good phone. Like it really is. I've been doing a bunch of my thumbnails for YouTube on it and everything. The AI on here, the Gemini stuff is great. Really, really beneficial tool. Um, and the phone is rock solid, man. Like it has decent specs, more than decent specs. Gaming on here has been fantastic. I'll do another video on that. This phone is worth its weight in gold. The only thing that I've been noticing that I guess will never that I will never leave my iPhone for is that because I really like this. I really like the Galaxy phone. Like I would jump on it and keep it as my main daily driver if it only wasn't for these software complications, which is it lacks a iMessage alternative, a FaceTime alternative, and Find My alternative. Like it doesn't have it. And you can say in the comments like, oh, it has, Samsung has the Find. I think it's just called Find, right? The app and stuff like that. But it's not as polished and reliable as Apple's. And the same thing with iMessage. Like Samsung had their own dedicated messaging app, which they just completely discontinued and now relying on Google for. And that's just gonna keep them behind Apple because I don't understand. And the same thing with FaceTime. FaceTime is the same thing. Like they just completely didn't even have a FaceTime alternative. They just had Google Meets, which is retarded. Like this is the stupidest thing ever. So I just don't understand this company that has in terms of hardware, like they have the best hardware compared to iPhone. Like iPhone has good hardware. Like don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan. I'm a fanboy of both. I love Samsung and I love Apple. They have great products, but the the difference between Apple and Samsung and it's always been this point since I've started using their phones is that one has a built-in vertical integration of all their stuff, software and hardware working together, and then something just doesn't have that, and I don't think they want to have that either because they have done so many years of making their own phones, and even with their chipsets, like they don't even like they have their own what's it called XML chipsets. It's trash. It's not even good, and they're relying on TSMC or Qualcomm to make their own chips, which is that's what's rocking this on this phone here, and it's a great chipset, but they don't have that. I feel like that that wanting to be better than Apple. I don't think they do, because if they would have dedicated a bunch of time to improving their chipset, because Google is doing the same thing with their Tensor chip. So Google's doing their own stuff, and they're already doing their own phones, and they have their own operating system, which is Android. So they should be rivaling Apple, but I think they still place themselves at third place in my book because they are dropping the ball too. Like they don't. I feel like these companies don't want to be an Apple alternative. They don't want to fight against Apple. They don't want to be a rival with Apple. They just are complacent with being where they're at right now, which is retarded, which is dumb. I don't understand why companies. If I was the lead for Google or Samsung, I would be like, okay, we gotta either be right at the game, like right at the level of Apple, where they're at with their integration of software and hardware and business practices, or even better. So I don't understand why these companies are lacking the basics, because that's the basics that people need. Like that's what I need in my daily life is to have a good camera, which these phones do have already. Like they're on point with Apple's cameras and photos, and they need to have I need to have good solid communication apps, because at the end of the day, smartphones are a communicator. That's what we use them for. We use them to communicate, to talk, to video chat, and these two companies, Samsung and Google, they either don't understand that or think that the customer is dumb or whatever, and don't rely on those apps, like because they don't have their own built-in apps. Like Apple understands this to the point where that's the bread and butter is FaceTime, iMessage, and Find My. Like that's what makes Apple products so sticky. Like people don't want to leave them because they are reliable in those three aspects. Like I know, like if I need to reach my mom or my girlfriend or anybody, I can just iMessage them, and it's a reliable send communication. It's encrypted, and I know that they are able to read it because we get the read receipts, and you can pay through the app. You can do a whole bunch of stuff, play games, and then if you want to see somebody, it's a built-in integration into the FaceTime app. So everything works seamlessly for that aspect of point of communication, and you don't have that on Samsung's side or on Google's side. You don't, and it just bothers me. And I just wanted to state that opinion as to why these big companies don't invest money into making those type of apps for their products. Like I love this one. I love the Galaxy phone. It's great. It's thin. It's a solid device. Cameras on it are good. I love Android, especially One UI. I love One UI. I love how I can do, I can download, videos, and it's a good editing machine with the stylus and with the processor on it. But it's just that's the limitation. Like I can't rely on it to be everything. Like at least with the iPhone, I can still edit videos and stuff. And it just sucks that with iOS, because of the RAM limitation, where you can't just have something, be uploaded on the background, especially if you're doing like rendering 4K video and stuff. And I'll I can understand people comment saying, well, why are you doing 4K edits on your phone? Because it's built to do that. Like they built the software and the hardware to incorporate editing and being a media machine. And so I'm using the product as intended, especially if it's for like almost $2,000 that I spent on the phone. So I want to get every bang for my buck. So I just don't. The only limitation is the RAM usage. Like iOS has that RAM usage where it wants to use as less RAM as possible and be more as efficient as possible. But and like I guess the opposite needs to be said about Apple. Like Apple treats their smartphones just like a basic like smartphone. Like it's the iPhones are top of the line communicators and cameras. That's basically what the iPhone is, and then everything else is kind of secondary. Like if you want to use it for like more productivity, like spreadsheet stuff, like typing a like an essay on it, you can. It's just going to be more limiting than if you would do it on another like smart device like a Galaxy or a Google device. So it's just I just don't understand why Samsung and Google can't see, or if they choose not to see, or why their reasoning is that they can't get these three apps to or have three apps on their devices in their ecosystem where it's a FaceTime, comparison, message, iMessage, and Find. Like those are the three like crucial apps that people need today. And I feel like if they would invest the money and the resources to have them polished and built on these three apps, like people would automatically leave their Apple for something better, because Apple has been not lacking, but they've just been on this slow trajectory of like just barely increasing the iPhone, making it a little bit better each time, which is, I guess, a solid model to have, but it's only a good model to have if you're in a business environment where nobody's pressuring you, like nobody's giving you competition. So, So anyway, like it was just me right now, just ranting about why I think people choose Apple over other brands of smartphones. Not even because they like Apple to an extent, but just because it's a solid communicator device that works and is integrated with all the other iPhones. They all work together. They all, you can send an iMessage and everything. It's all in this big ecosystem that nobody else wants to build. The Galaxy has a system, like a built system, but it's not a rival to Apple, and it feels like it's intended not to be. I guess that's the point of this ranting video log thing, is that, and the same thing with Google. Like, nobody wants to build a competitor system phone product to Apple. Like, I don't know, I don't understand why. Maybe it's because they have like a business partnership type of thing in the in the background, where I know that Samsung builds the displays for Apple. Maybe they have a contractual thing going on, which kind of makes a little sense. But I understand how Google is lacking on that too, because like I know I was watching some Tech Odyssey videos. Shout out to him, and like he was basically stating that, like, it's like Google's dropping the ball on their tensor stuff, and they don't have like they're not building a competitor ecosystem to Apple. Like, they just don't want to do it. So I don't know. This has just been me ranting on these topics. Let me know, comment, like, subscribe the video, and I'll see you guys on the next time. Later.